We went a little bit farther, but no.
If you didn't know, this is my Lolo. So
he likes to watch walk on the
he
beach.
likes to tell stories about his experience.
I talk a lot.
I love it.
What is good, guys? It's your boy Corey.
It's your boy John.
And welcome back to the Artistry Drop, where we feature stories from today's rising artists. Guys, we got a guest here. We're super excited to have her on the show. Our guest today is an R&B artist from Jamaica, Queens. She has opened up for Billboard charting artists Serani and Chief Keef and has performed throughout New York City for over a decade. She now lives in LA and writes for notable K-pop, hip-hop, and R&B artists. Guys, please welcome Shaina Rae.
Let's go. Come on now.
Welcome, Shaina.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. We're excited to have you on here and, learn a little bit about your story. Appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get into the drink of the day first.
All right, so the drink of the day is a Malibu Mango Sunrise. It's my own little twist. After we had Andre O'Hurd onto the podcast last one, I made a Shirley Temple, and he was giving me so much props that it kind of boosted my ego. So I was like, man, ever since then, I need to step my shit up. So, this is a mango sunrise, but it's not your typical mango sunrise. I added my own twist. Without orange juice, I added mango puree, and I added some grenadine, some coconut water, and then added some Malibu, and just topped it off with some umbrellas and set the vibes.
You know what? We do got to do another Shirley Temple because that shit was fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I said, that shit was actually good for a Shirley Temple.
Oh, damn. This is my first time making a Shirley Temple, too.
Well, it was spiked.
Oh, man,
that's the difference.
Too.
So, that was good. So, we got to do another one of those.
Okay, I got you.
Right?
I got
you.
Right,
It's dangerous, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
That is.
No, it'll creep up on you. All right,
cheers to the
cheers.
podcast. Another great show.
All right, cheers.
Have a taste at this. Ooh, that is good.
Yeah. The coconut.
Yeah, the coconut. That's coconut water.
Oh, that's coconut water.
Yeah, it's just a hint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
good.
sir.
Yeah, that tastes good. But we need that Shirley Temple.
I got you. I got you.
Let's do it.
Must be an old man thing.
Fuck you.
All right, so just getting right into, are you originally from LA?
No, I'm actually from New York City. Well, okay. I'm from Jamaica, Queens.
Okay.
Which is one of the 5 boroughs, but I anyone who lives in the 5 boroughs of New York, we are considered the city. We're the city kids. But yeah, I'm from New York.
Okay. And how was it your transition out here from New York?
Oh my God. Not what I expected.
Really?
Well, first I came out here March of 2019. And I was checking it out, going to different studios. I landed an interview on Dash Radio.
Okay.
And then I was okay, maybe 5 more years until I move to LA. I still have to get my roots in New York started and stuff like that. Okay. And went hiking, saw the beach, saw the snow, went to Yosemite, and I was oh nah, I need to be here ASAP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moved here 3 months later. Nice. And then 7 months later, the pandemic hit.
Right.
So I was kind of getting out of my shell. I figured out where the laundromat was, where the grocery store was, and I'm okay, I'm ready to go and do my thing. And then the world shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was wild, but I honestly wouldn't. I would prefer to be here in LA during a pandemic than in New York City, where it's super crowded. Yeah. The apartment that I was in had no sunlight, so it was kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. And I heard there was a lot of cases out there too.
Yeah, it was wild. My mom is actually a nurse, so she was crying and calling me every day this is wild. Yeah. I've never experienced anything like this, but
So when you came to visit, did you have the intention of coming out here for music, or was it just to visit and just to see sites?
I had just released a single.
Okay.
At that time, so I was here doing promo, and also the intention was to network. The intention wasn't necessarily to move, but to kind of meet the right people so that I could, when I do eventually move, then I'd be set up.
Yeah.
Right.
But just the lifestyle, legal weed,
Yeah.
the food.
Yeah.
I was all right, I gotta be here.
Yeah. Is weed not legal in New York yet?
I think, fuck.
I thought it was.
Can I curse?
Yeah, of course.
I think they just legalized it, but it's still like super expensive.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's only like how weed was legal first in LA. Like it was just like the very local, super local, medicinal. Bud, like out there, it's the same. So there's no like major like cookies or anything like that out there yet.
That's crazy.
When you moved out or when you came out here, did you know anybody in LA already, or were you just starting a network and then you eventually, met a lot of people?
I had a few friends out in New York who connected me to people in LA. So I kind of did know some people. Like RJ I've known for a minute. And he actually was out here in LA already. Okay. And then one of my friends, shout out Mike Ang.
Shout out.
He actually connected me with mad people out here in LA. So that kind of helped a lot. Yeah. And then I had family in like the Marine base in San Diego. And that was about it.
Okay. That's dope. Yeah, we both also moved out here in 2019.
What?
It was so actually almost near the same time you moved out
that's
here.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, so he moved out here August, I think. It was August, right?
End of August, like beginning of September.
Okay, yeah. August.
Because, oh my God.
And then I followed out because, for us, it was a goal to already move out here together to, follow our dreams and our goals. And this is something we had a lot of conversation about. And, ifs, what would happen if we move out here? What would happen if things go bad? And, we finally just pulled the trigger. Wow. And I finally convinced this guy to, move out here because he's been my boy since like 2013. So it's like, we've been doing photo shoots together, filmmaking together. So it's like, I told him, bro, like we got to do this shit out in LA.
Where did y'all move from?
We're from Seattle.
Yeah, we're from Seattle.
Yeah, we're from Seattle. Cool. So, Seattle is not necessarily a place where you can blow up there. Doing photography and
some people have, but
some people have. It's just it's harder.
Yeah.
It's going to take more time because there's not as many connections out there. It's like you do have to grow on your own, and even if you do want to like get bigger, you're going to still have to come to LA back and forth.
Yeah,
but I always because I went to film school, and that was like film school was the one that pretty much got me out here, and that's why I was telling him I was like, bro, I'm going to be graduating from film school soon. Let's go fucking move to LA.
Right.
Let's do this shit. So he ended up getting a job before me. And then, I started applying for film work and videography and all that stuff and finally landed one. And, we came down here, September 2019. And, at first, it was, of course, what I did was network way beforehand. Yeah. Like even before moving to LA was like hitting up people for photo shoots and, letting them know like, yeah, I'm moving out to LA like next week. Like, can we shoot? Because that's how I started out here was like hitting up hella people, having, a lot of people in, my Instagram, just reaching out and letting them know I'm moving down, let's shoot. And that's pretty much, I think that's how I was able to network a lot. Was beforehand, like even beforehand of moving here. And then, then COVID hit. It fucked up everything. And you know this too, because when you just move to a place where, you expect everything was going to be fine and you could start grinding and working and everything. Well, it fucked up everything. Yeah. So we weren't able to do everything that we wanted to. So, originally the podcast was going to be last year, during COVID. We just didn't invest into it too much. We were kind of more having more fun just being at home, not doing shit.
It was also unmotivating, being at home, being stuck all the time, not experiencing, because us as artists, like we get inspiration from the outside world.
Right, exactly.
We can only get so much inspiration from like where we are,
unless you watch mad movies,
of course,
like binge watch,
and go to the old stuff and stuff like that. So it was hard to find inspiration and find that drive again when everything's closed and shut off and we couldn't shoot anymore. Yeah. Like it was really hard. So now going into the next year, we were talking about this for years, having the podcast. So really like making that come to life is like a dream come true for sure. And then look where we're at now,
So. Question. Oh, you're clapping, so I gotta add the hand clap. Well, kind of going back to like the whole COVID thing, and you had just moved out here. Like, did COVID kind of motivate you to work harder towards like music and stuff like that since you had like more free time on your hand?
You know what? It motivated me to work smarter, actually. Like,
that's a good answer.
Being from New York, all I know is to work hard. Like, we just grind. There's no stopping. You're just on the go all the time. And during the pandemic, like, it was just like, all right, like, everything is still, everything is silent. You're also in a space where there's mad green and air and all of that. And then it just, for the first time, everything was really quiet.
Yeah.
So during that time, I learned how to like edit my own videos on Premiere. I got a camera. And I started making like YouTube videos on like spirituality just for fun, just to see if I liked it. And all of that, like, I just kind of learned how to be my own everything. Record myself, write, like be my own videographer and vlogger or whatever, video editor. So now looking back, I'm like, okay, if ever some videographer or engineer cancels on me and I have a session, like, okay, I could do that shit myself. So I think I've learned how to move away from the grind and the hustle and like doing everything necessarily myself, but now I can learn how to outsource properly. I think that's like the biggest thing that I've learned.
You know what? That is smart. You know, kind of learning things on your own that you've never done before and just trying to implement it, because you're right. You never know if somebody's going to bail on you last minute when you actually need them there. So you're like, oh fuck, I already know how to do this shit. So that is smart. I
for sure.
Yeah, I applaud you for that. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, finding yourself through the pandemic.
Yes. And like I said, and you know, we've talked about that before too, is like, if you didn't do shit during the pandemic, you wasted time. Like, honestly, like, you should have utilized that time to learn something new, figure yourself out, figure out what you want to do. So like I said, I mean, I applaud you, you know, taking on something new and, you know, doing it yourself. So let's go.
Let's go.
We're going to take it back a little bit. How did you get into music?
Oh my God, oh my God, what? People always ask, like, how long have you been singing for? I think it's because I'm Filipino.
I understand that.
We all understand that.
I understand that.
I don't know, coming out the womb. Like,
was it the Filipino karaoke family parties?
Okay, karaoke, yes, but I think like, okay, so my tatay, my grandfather, always had a VHS tape.
Okay.
And I would always perform, like singing Pocahontas and whatever the fuck else. So I think I just always liked performing. I don't know if it was necessarily like singing or music that I was attracted to, but I think it was more so performing for my family. Like, and then they would create like positive rewards for it. Like, okay, if you do this, I'll give you $5.
That's dope.
So I think that's kind of what.
Filipino, actually.
It does. That's what created the like love and desire to perform. Was okay. Like, there's always something positive after that.
Yeah. So we're like, knowing that though, like, you know, it arrived from your tatay. But in the future, why did you eventually get into music?
So when I was in 6th grade, I was part of the dance theater troupe for my school, and we did an off-Broadway production of Cats. And it was like super rare for like so in New York, I don't know, it's different in other states apparently, but like in New York, 6th grade is like your freshman year of middle school. So yeah, is that the same for y'all?
That is crazy. No.
Wait, 6th grade is freshman year?
Of middle school.
No, that's right. That was for me too.
Freshman year of middle school.
Middle school.
I was thinking freshman year of high school.
You're right, actually. You know why? Because I've heard that from people. You know, I know some people in Chicago, and they've also said like middle school for them begins at 8th grade. And I'm like, what?
Fucking weird.
So
I've had similar. So I was born in Seattle. I grew up in Fresno, California, and then I moved back to Seattle. But when I lived in Fresno, California, in all elementary, my 6th grade was still in elementary. It wasn't in middle school.
That is
so
weird.
in Seattle, they started in 6th grade. Yeah, so when I moved there, it was in 7th grade, and I was like, "What? You guys started?"
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And I was like,
California's on
that's
some
crazy.
different time.
Yeah. No, that is weird.
I don't know if it's still like that now, but
I think it is, honestly. But I know Seattle will never change that. 6th grade will always be middle, freshman year of middle school. So,
Weird.
all right, sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. I'm like, see.
That is weird.
What happened? Okay, so it was super rare for like a freshman in middle school to land any major roles in that group or whatever.
Okay.
And I got a solo, and it was very strange because we were like dressed up as cats. Like you're not recognizable. Like I was in this hot ass furry costume singing this solo, and then at the end of the show I was going out. I wasn't in costume, but I had like the face makeup on. And I'm leaving through the back, and people are stopping me like, "Oh my God, you were the one who sang that part or whatever." And for me, I'm thinking like, I just had like a 3-minute song out of like an hour-long production. How do you remember me? Right. And I think that was the moment where I realized like, oh, okay, like I guess I'm a star.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a star. Like, cool. People can recognize me even if I'm like this tiny portion of this big ass production. Like I have something that's memorable to people. And since then I started like continued taking like piano lessons, singing lessons, and then I went to LaGuardia High School, which is like, do you know that show Fame? Or I wanna live forever. That one. So that's what the movie or the show is based off of, is the actual high school. Okay. So I went to that high school. Like Nicki Minaj went there, Al Pacino, Jennifer Aniston.
Is it a music school?
It's performing arts. So like music, drama, vocal, blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
That's dope.
So I'm assuming like, your Spotting Cats though was definitely a lot better than the movie that came out with James Corden, because that shit got a lot of bad reviews.
I saw some clips on YouTube recently and I was like a little disappointed.
What was it, the CGI or was it the singing?
I don't know.
Because the CGI looked really bad to me.
They did.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not a good judge for that. I was like, whoa, this is fucking cool. But I think it was like the actual songs. Like, it's so different doing something on stage and like having to sing in front of a fucking theater versus like singing when you have a microphone and it's already pre-recorded.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So maybe the feeling wasn't there. I just felt like, ooh, this is not what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not giving what it's supposed to give.
Yeah, that's understandable. So you mentioned you went to school or a performing arts center. Is it a center or a school?
High school, yeah.
High school, okay. So when it comes to, I, of course, like I'm sure not a lot of us have been to a performing arts school or high school. What kind of classes do you typically take there?
So we took like the basic stuff, like learning how to sing in like German, Italian, French.
Oh wow.
Opera, musical theater was a thing, but I was more so in the new music ensemble where like you could make your own music or collaborate with other people. Like other instrumentalists and stuff like that. So that was like more of a songwriting class, and that was more of my thing.
So since you went to a performing arts school, did you actually take singing lessons as well?
Yeah, so we had maybe like minimum three like vocal classes a day. Every day, and then like the last 2 years you would maybe take like 4 or 5.
And that was in like middle school?
That was high school.
Oh, high school.
Yeah, and then I had like my own vocal coach after school and stuff like that.
So is it like a regular high school where it's like freshman through senior year or?
Yeah, 4 years.
And how many classes usually would you take?
Like 12.
12 per, like for freshman year?
Oh, I'm so sorry. So it's 12 in a day.
Damn, that's hella.
12 in a day?
Yeah,
wait,
so
how
I
long
get
were
out
your
of
days?
school at like 4.
Holy shit.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so what time do you start?
Like, see, I don't know because I was always late. But, shit. I don't know.
Like 7 a.m., 8?
Someone been skipping school.
Well, no.
I don't know how I graduated.
Honestly, that's still fucking long because, like even for my high school years, it was usually 7:45 a.m. we start class, and we're done at about 2.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, like 4 o'clock though?
4, we'd have rehearsals and shit. That shit was fucking long.
Damn,
that's
crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So, going through, we had to stalk your Instagram and kind of, learn a little bit about you at least. But, I noticed you do play guitar a little bit here and there. Was that something you learned from school, or did you kind of pick that up yourself?
I think I picked that up myself, just like self-taught. I'm really bad, actually.
Where did you learn from originally? Did you just
on YouTube?
pick up YouTube?
Yeah, just YouTube. Like, I remember my first day I bought the guitar, my mom was like, we're gonna get you the $99 Epiphone one, because if you're not good at this shit, at least it wasn't a waste. My first day I broke the string.
Oh, damn.
And I'm still not good at it.
Oh, it's all good. For me too, I wanted to learn guitar in high school, and they had us. Was your guitar acoustic or was it electric?
Acoustic.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what they had us learn on as well, and they were teaching us like the simplest stuff, like Buttercup Baby, I think, and stuff like that. And then we would have to go up in front of class and like perform it. And I was like, this isn't, at first I was excited about it because, like my dad had played acoustic guitar and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to learn what he knows,
Yeah.
Went there. And then once we started learning like these songs, I was like,
this is not it.
This is not it. Like, I think I got to leave. So, because there were like 2 different classes. There was like, beginner. Of course, I took beginner and then intermediate. And then I think that was pretty much it. But there was no way I was going to go to intermediate because I was like, nah, if this is if this is how it's going to be, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Did you happen to learn any in school though at all?
No.
No?
No, there was a guitar class, but I didn't take it. I took piano. But yeah, it just kind of stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, you were like, nah, I'm good.
I was like, I would not. The vocals, I could play some keys here and there, but that's about it.
Yeah. No, that's understandable.
Back in high school, like for me, I had a lot of islanders go to my high school, so I learned like ukulele and piano from them.
Love it.
Yeah, but I know like 3 songs that I could play with one hand. Ooh. And then same thing with ukulele, but other than that, like that was it.
Wait, 3 songs playing on the
piano. On the piano. And then also I only know 3 songs on the uke too. So it's like,
I've never picked up the ukulele. Like, I've always wanted to. Like, just try to. Yeah. It's so small.
Yeah, it is. It's good to like take anywhere.
Yeah.
I used to dance, back then, and so we would always have it like at the dance floor, taking it around and then putting it down and then dancing again and then
Do you play it the same way you would like a guitar?
I think the chords are different because it only has like 4 chords. So there's only 4 chords that they took from the guitar on the uke. So it is a little bit different. But I mean, like the hand movement is kind of the same.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, when I went to Hawaii for vacation in like 2015, I saw people playing the ukulele everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's their thing.
Yeah, it's their thing. So like I wouldn't mind like playing it, trying it out with a hobby or something, but it still looks pretty hard because it's so small.
No, it is kind of hard.
Your body posture is like this or something like that, so hey, just for a hobby though, might as well pick it up.
Yeah.
Who were like going with your music career and growing up, like who were your biggest inspirations or your influences when it comes to music?
Growing up for me, definitely Britney Spears was a huge inspo. Beyonce and Kehlani.
Yeah. Nice.
Kehlani definitely, like she's definitely more of a realistic and current inspiration where like I think we're around the same age.
Yeah.
She knows how to dance. She can sing her ass off. And yeah, but I think growing up for sure Britney Spears.
I can I can see Kehlani in you though. Even hearing your music and all that. So I definitely see why you would choose her as an inspiration. With Britney Spears, what was the one song that caught you where you're like, oh, I love Britney?
To be honest, Lucky.
Lucky.
Okay.
Lucky. Yeah.
He's a star.
really catchy.
Yeah. No, that is catchy. Like, the first time I knew Britney was.
Oh, you knew her?
I grew up on her.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
met her.
Hey, I wouldn't.
You are half white. You know,
facts. Yeah. No, like of course, the first time was "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time." Watching TRL. And,
Oops, I Did It Again.
Yeah, Oops, I Did It Again. Well, "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" was, I think, the first single she put out. Because it was also around the same time, I think, with NSYNC, Backstreet Boys. So I was big on NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. Britney, like she was there. She was on like the top 10 on TRL.
Right.
But it was like I was always looking forward to like Britney. Not Britney.
Oh, you were looking forward to her.
I mean, at that time, like all the guys were looking. Yes, at that time
with the snake and everything.
Yes. Yeah. I was looking at her like that. But no, I mean, when it comes to like the music, like I was a big like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC fan. So of course, like Britney was just in that lineup anyways on TRL. And I mean, that's still dope though. Was there any other songs that you really liked from Britney?
Oh my God, everything. Oops, I Did It Again. Hit Me, Baby, One More Time. Sometimes I love, sometimes of that song. Nice. Yeah. I think for me, it was more so that she was like a great performer.
Yeah.
So that really inspired me.
No, I could see that definitely. She is a great performer. I mean, I don't know what she's doing right now, but
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Chilling.
I mean,
but during that time,
back then, like coming from a dance perspective, she definitely had that execution and that like attitude that carried on for many generations. And a lot of people who dance now, who have that kind of sass to them, look up to Britney. Still to this day, Britney, Beyonce, that's who set the sass and the attitude for the generations to come.
Yeah, so that is fact. Do you think Beyonce looked up to Britney?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh my God, because Destiny's Child.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Opened up for her actually.
Okay. That
is
right.
Yeah.
No, I only say that because I know, of course, like Destiny's Child, Beyonce, they're all like past Britney's time. Britney and NSYNC, all them like came before them.
Yeah.
Right.
If anything, I would say also like Destiny's Child looked up to TLC.
I could see that.
You could see that? Yeah, I could see that too. When it comes, since you lived in New York, were you around like Times Square, seeing TRL, maybe Britney or any of those people?
No. Like, you know how like, I don't know how it would be like. Did you guys ever go to like the big Starbucks or something in Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
No, it's easy to get there, honestly.
Okay.
It's easy to get there.
Well, in New York, it's like, it's just, you don't go to the Empire State Building. You don't really go to Times Square unless you have to, because it's like so much, like so many people.
Yeah, right. I understand that.
But it was cool, like watching it and knowing that, like, oh my God, I've walked these streets. I've seen like this record store. Like I literally pass by it all the time. So for me, it was just like, all right, this is regular. You know, like I'm meant to do this because this is so regular.
Yeah.
I think we can relate to that, especially when it comes to like something like Space Needle.
Yeah.
You know, we are scared of heights for one,
Yeah.
but two,
Both of y'all?
Yeah, we are.
I hate heights.
But two, like we live in a city where the Space Needle is the first thing that people come to when they visit. It's a tourist spot, but we honestly haven't been since we were small.
Yeah, it's more of like a field trip thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I feel like, it's a tourist thing. So it's like, a lot of people are going to migrate to where, people go to Times Square all the time. They know TRL was there too. But you already knew there was going to be like hella people because you see all the crowd out there. I probably wouldn't want to be in that crowd either.
Right, exactly.
But also I get that in general. It's like you don't need to go to a place unless you need to. So kind of like, whenever I came here to LA for vacation, I used to come here all the time just for vacation. My favorite place would be Venice Beach. I just loved the vibes at Venice Beach, I thought moving here, I was going to be there all the time.
Yeah.
I never go there.
Yeah.
It's crazy because
I don't miss the homeless smell there.
Oh my God, it's so sad.
The aroma?
It is.
Yeah, no, it is.
They're all up on a beach.
It is. Sure. I had like a really bad experience there one time. So when I moved here and I was shooting with, models and stuff like that. So we were shooting at like near the basketball court area and this one guy comes, he's homeless, of course. But he comes up to me and he starts yelling at me. And he thinks I'm threatening the model. And then the model is defending me, of course. She's like, he's not doing anything. And he starts getting pissed and he's about to touch me. And I said, don't touch me, you know, and he's getting pissed. And then finally, you know, security passes by. They ask what happens. And, you know, I was like, this guy is like yelling at me, you know, and stuff like that. And, you know, they didn't really do too much. I wasn't scared or anything, but I would definitely say, you know, like down around Venice, it has gotten worse. I wouldn't say that's probably why I haven't gone there, you know, as much. It's just, that was my first bad experience, like since I moved here. But other than that, like Venice is such a dope place to be. It's such a vibe, and that's why like I miss going down there a lot, because it was just the number one place I would go down to, like just walking down the, you know, the boardwalk and grabbing food and, you know, seeing some weird people like, you know, playing, like, because I think one of the other things that also attracted me is like the people that sell like artwork. Their artwork is fire.
No, it is.
You know, and you know, I bought a couple pieces from some of those people just because I was like, damn, this shit is dope. You know. But yeah, I mean, kind of, you know, I mean, we got out of, we went a little bit farther, but no,
if you didn't know, this is my Lolo. So,
he likes to watch walk on the
he likes to tell stories about his experience.
I talk a lot.
I love it.
I talk a lot. I'm super extroverted, so it's like I kind of get, you know, I go too far.
Up.
Yeah, I get caught up. So.
But I love the beach. It's a shame that so many like homeless people are there, and I wish they had a better place to stay. But it's freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, it is gorgeous, and that's something we didn't really have like in Seattle.
Yeah,
like,
we don't have.
We have beaches, but it wasn't like as nice as it is over here, of course. And so like really like going there like on our vacation or hanging out with friends there is really like a different experience, and we're like, wow, that we're in California.
Like, and we live here now.
We live here now.
Yeah, and but I still can't believe we just don't go there as much.
Exactly.
I know.
You know,
well, summer's coming up. You know, COVID happened. You know, so we had to take a pause.
Yeah,
so
that is true.
Yes, sir.
So you know, like I said, we went through your Instagram. I saw a video of you rehearsing for the Philippines Independence Day Festival. What was your thought process on preparing for that show?
Wow. Okay.
We're asking some deep questions here.
We got to.
Nobody asked.
See?
What was my thought process? Okay, so to be honest, I got my wisdom teeth taken out.
Oh, wow.
So, okay, so 2 weeks before, I forgot what happened, but I think I was sick, so I was on vocal rest. So I couldn't sing during rehearsals. So all the time during rehearsals, I'm like mouthing the words and like doing the whole thing, like doing the choreography. And then the week before, or maybe it was like 4 days before, I had to do like an emergency wisdom teeth extraction. Because I was getting like major headaches. Like it was just super unbearable. Went to the dentist and they were like, oh, we got to pull this shit out now.
Really?
And I'm like, fuck, what the hell? I have a show in 4 days. Like, is this going to be okay?
Yeah.
So, for me, it was just like, okay, I just got to get through this. I got to do this. I've rehearsed for weeks now. Like, I know the choreography. And the day of the show, I think my face was like half swollen. Yeah. And I'm singing like, what's the difference between love and the fake? But yeah, I was just like, all right, we just got to get through this. Like, let's kill it. Even if I'm out of breath because for whatever reason, like I don't know, I've been on fucking drugs, like on meds this whole time. But yeah, I think my main concern like throughout the performance was like, oh my God, do I sound okay? Like, do I sound like my mouth is swollen? Do I sound like Kanye through the wire? But ultimately, like, it was a really good performance.
We interrupt this episode with a word from our sponsor. Are you a gamer and looking to amp up your gaming setup? Then we've got an amazing gaming brand for you. Tilted Nation strives to get their customers involved with their development process of new products in order to establish a personal connection and not to mention truly optimized products for the gaming community. They want to go beyond developing amazing products and to lead the gaming community into a united community that works together. A community that pushes gaming essentials to unimaginable heights. They've hooked us up with amazing gear such as this gaming headset stand, mouse pads, and this awesome laptop RGB stand right below my laptop. And now they're hooking you guys up. Use the discount code Artistry Drop on their website, link below, and receive a 15% discount. Now back to the show. No, that's dope. Okay. So, like, how did you try to fight? Like, if your face was swollen, was it hard to sing? Was it bearable?
Yeah, it was hard to sing. It didn't hurt. It was just, I knew that like something was there.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like there was something there. But I was like, I just got to be in the moment and just do it and act like I don't know it's there. And in the moment, there's so much adrenaline going through your body that you're just like, okay, cool.
Right.
But yeah, I just pushed through.
Yeah. Did you feel it afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt it afterwards and everyone wanted to take pictures and I'm smiling and I'm like,
do you have some of those pictures?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. I'll have to send it to you guys.
Yes. Damn. Is it funny?
It's not that obvious.
Okay.
Yeah, I think only I can tell, or if you zoom in, you could see like a little bump. Yeah. But like it was very painful.
I mean, we've seen some pretty funny like, you know, wisdom teeth extraction faces.
Yeah, we have.
My girlfriend, like, I mean, we're not gonna show it, but she showed us hers, and we just could not stop laughing. Like, that's why I'm like, I would love to see that.
I'll send it to you guys. I got you.
Appreciate it. So you know, I did see a video of you like rehearsing with like background dancers and stuff like that. When it comes to having background dancers when you're performing, are those people you go back to constantly, or do you find like new people that will, you know, be with you on a performance?
Well, they were with me in New York. So like we were consistently together in New York. But here in LA, I'm still finding people that I vibe with as background dancers. But in New York, it's such a tight-knit community. Like, I don't see us not working together when I'm back for shows and stuff. Yeah.
That's dope.
That's crazy because, like, in New York, it's almost looked at like the second LA. You know, when it comes to, like, music, when it comes to dance, like, that's where people, like, blow up. If you don't want to go to LA and you want to experience the East Side, like, they have really top-notch dance schools, performing arts schools, like, over there, like LA. So that's crazy how, like, it's kind of like you're explaining like a tight niche place when it's as big as LA when it comes to industry level. Yeah. You know, so like, yeah, that's crazy to think about.
Or maybe because I'm not a dancer, so I think it's a tight-knit community. Right. Like, I talk to dancers and they're like, oh yeah, I know this person and first name basis every fucking dancer in New York. And I'm like, how do you guys know each other? Yeah, like, so to me, it seems like such a tight-knit community, but who am I? I'm not a dancer.
I mean, Seattle's like that too. Like, you know, being in the dance community there, it's very tight niche. I mean, we don't have that many people as like LA and New York, but like everybody like knows everybody and tries to help out everyone. I think dancers in general want to see others succeed. It's more or less like fame and money hungry like it is with the art industry as being like a rapper or singer or something like that. You know, in the dance community, like you kind of have to like have an open mind and like be willing to take class from like people who you're not really comfortable with in order to be a better dancer. Right. You know? Yeah,
you got to be
so you kind of you kind of have to be uncomfortable rather than being a singer or artist. You could really just tone into who you are. Exactly. Yeah, and you just focus on your past and your path and you'll make it. You know, so it's a little different. So yeah. So that's how it is to be a dancer. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so dope though.
Yeah.
You know, going through your Spotify, you currently have about 3 songs on Spotify. But you haven't uploaded like anything recently. Have you pretty much been in the studio working on music and, you know, waiting to release that shit?
Yeah, so I am releasing music this year.
Nice.
Actually coming out with a project this year. So, yeah, haven't released anything in the past 3 years because I've just been grinding and like perfecting my sound. And I've finally come to a place where I feel proud of the music that I'm making. I think back then it was very experimental and very like still trying to find who I am. And now I'm like, okay, like I really fuck with my own shit.
Right. So are you thinking about like releasing like an album this year or like more like an EP?
Definitely an EP. Okay. It'll roll out as singles.
Yeah. Okay. That's dope.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what a lot of artists do. Right. You know, like we have a lot of friends that are, you know, also musicians and, you know, singers as well. And that's I think that's just the standard any artist does is, you know, like they're starting to roll out singles first and then come up with like an EP.
Right.
Are you planning to like take those singles and compile it, or is it just all gonna be singles?
Well, It'll be singles, and I can't say too much.
Yeah, of course.
But I will say that the singles will give us a better direction of how the project, the EP will go. Because honestly, like, I can think that a song is fire.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, it's up to you guys. It's up to the listeners on, like, how you will receive it. So I think the best way is to, like, figure out what everybody likes and then decide, like, what will actually land on officially on the project.
What we've been hearing from like other artists too is, as well as us as social media influencers and filmmakers, like the generation now is like so, like their attention span is so short. So of course, like bringing out a single, you know, a lot of people will be more open to listening to a single than listen to a whole album.
Oh my God,
more
at first,
yeah, exactly, or a whole EP. So if they could get a sense from you from a single, then they're more inclined to listen to like a whole album. You know? So I think that's like a great way to go. Yeah, for sure.
I think like as a super independent artist, and technically I'm still just starting out. You know, I only have 3 songs out. I haven't released music in about 3 years, and this year is really going to be like a completely different.
It's your year.
It's like I'm starting over again. So I think it's more welcoming for people to take singles versus like, here's an album of who I am and you just have to take me and accept me for who I am, versus somebody like Kanye who can take a break for a year or two and we're like, yes, we want the whole fucking album, you know? I know. But I think if we give everybody like a bit of a taste of who I am, and then they'll want to have more, and then they'll be more receptive to the whole project.
No, that makes sense. And I'm excited to hear what you have, because, you know, listening to those songs you already have, those are fire. Word. So I'm already
send you guys some stuff.
Hey,
that's what a lot of the artist homies do, you know. But hey, no, honestly, like I am definitely excited to, you know, hear what you got coming out this year, because I already enjoyed the songs you had on Spotify. So I know you come in with the heat this year.
Yeah. Speaking about your songs, like I've listened to some of your songs, and your song "Always Will" has a very like soulful jazz R&B type of vibe. I noticed when it sounds really good when it comes to like live performances as well. I'm interested to know like what kind of genre like you're mostly like attracted to the most.
So I think during the time of Always Will was definitely more like R&B soul. But now I am attracted. I mean, I've always been attracted to like R&B and hip hop, to be honest. So you guys are definitely going to hear more of that like in the project, more bouncy, catchy things you could dance to, but also things that you can sit down and get super high and be like, damn, I love that bitch.
Nice. Excited for that then. Like
for sure.
We're probably gonna do that, roll up something and smoke to that, you know.
That sounds like me.
That is him. That is him.
That is him right there.
Yeah, but I'll join you on that one. Let's go. So, you know, earlier when we introduced you, we mentioned you've written songs for, you know, notable K-pop and hip-hop R&B artists. Which artists, if you're able to mention, have you worked with, and who has been your favorite?
I can't say.
Okay. Is it too early because they haven't come out? Or
yeah, it's too early. But I can say the genre. I think my favorite genre that I've written for was K-pop.
Okay.
Because it's like, it's a challenge. Like for R&B and hip hop, like you can curse, you can say very modern slang, and you could say, I want to fuck this bitch and her friends and all of that, and it'll be okay. But with K-pop or like even C-pop or J-pop, like Chinese pop or Japanese pop, it has to be very clean. And also they're going to translate it. So it still has to be very like, not layman's terms, but like translatable. So it's kind of a challenge to relay the same message, but like use like very simple, very relatable, genuine terms. And then also with K-pop, it's like every 4 bars, the cadence changes, the rhythm, the everything changes. So I find that to be the most fun.
It's BTS, isn't it?
I don't know.
So how does that actually work though? So like, do you write it in English and then they translate it into Korean?
Yeah, we write it in English. They translate it into Korean. Sometimes they'll keep the phrase or whatever. If they fuck with it, then they'll keep it. But yeah, for the most part, they translate it in Korean.
That's dope. So how many have you done so far? Are you able to say that?
I don't even know.
So you've done quite a bit.
Yeah.
So they're not released yet?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're still in production right now.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Are they like reviewing the lyrics, or are they still in production of recording the song?
I don't know. It's a process. Yeah, like reviewing the lyrics, changing it in production, and then with like international or groups, like there's usually a lot of people in the group. Yeah. So I'm sure they're trying to figure out who's gonna sing what and break it up. But I do know that like with international music, it's just a longer process versus here in the States, it's like, okay, Money Long may have like shopped this song to X amount of artists, and then Rihanna picked it up and she released it next month or like 3 months from now. Versus in international music, it's like a year, 2 years until they release something that they picked up. So it's interesting.
No, that's dope. You know, like you're the first I've actually met that has written songs for K-pop artists
internationally.
Yeah, internationally. You know, I mean, we've known people that have like sung or you know stuff for like K-pop artists, but not write. So I just wanted to get some more insight on how that actually works. Yeah, because I mean you're the first one.
Yeah. So it's such an interesting game. Yeah. Like they give you, I will say, like they give you a concept of what they're looking for. You send it back. They get back to you fast about the feedback, but then once it's sent, then it's kind of like, okay, we like it. Yeah. And then maybe 2-3 years from now, we'll have a whole music video and all of this.
Damn,
there's
that's
like
crazy.
Yeah, it's really planned out.
Yeah, it's a long process then. So like a song that you wrote 3 years ago probably won't come out for another year or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Damn. But do they let you know when it's actually released, or is it like you finally just hear, you're like, I wrote those lyrics?
It depends.
Okay.
Yeah, but usually they'll let you know.
Okay. I would hope so.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's still dope. That's still dope knowing though.
For sure. As a songwriter, do you find it easier to like songwrite for other people than yourself? Because they, like for that instance, they gave you a concept, so you kind of already know what you're going to talk about?
I do actually.
Yeah.
Like easier. I don't know if easier is the word. I guess it's easier because I'm not attached to it. I'm not attached to, okay, does this align with the image? Does this align with the brand? Like there's all these other things that as if I'm writing for myself, I'm thinking about all these other like shit that actually doesn't fucking matter when you're creating. Like I'm just overthinking, but when I'm writing for somebody else, it's like, okay, nobody's judging me. I'm not judging me. Like if they don't like it, then they'll just tell me to change it, or they'll change it themselves. So there's really nothing to lose. So I think the process is more liberating. For me personally.
That's dope.
You'll be the perfect person to like write songs for like movies. Like soundtracks, for movies.
That's dope. So this question, they might like butt heads a little bit, because you kind of do both. But do you enjoy writing songs or singing more? Because I know you write your songs. You write your songs as well.
She said, "I need a drink."
Damn, hold on.
She said,
I'm trying to make you think here.
These are really good questions.
Yeah, I'm trying to make you think.
I enjoy singing more.
Okay.
I love it. It's such a sport. Like it's really like, okay, do I sing back or do I sing in the mask or do I sing like it's like there's so much. Songwriting is one thing, and I think that's a sport for other people, which I respect and I admire. And I aspire to do. But singing is a totally different game. Like you're just like, you're manipulating your throat, you're manipulating your tongue, and all these other technicalities that like people don't really think about, and I enjoy that.
And I mean, in the first place, you started off singing anyways. You didn't start like songwriting. When did you actually start songwriting, if we can go back that far?
I was 11.
Okay.
And I was getting bullied. Was it? Yeah, no, I was 12. I was getting bullied because I had transferred to a new school.
I was there too.
So, so you already know. Like, it was hard. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Too close to the mic. It was hard. People were bullying me. And so I took that One Republic song Too late to apologize.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I took that. I learned how to play it on the piano, and then I remixed it. So I took the tempo, or the melody, and then I changed the lyrics. Nice. And I think that was like my first
like songwriting.
Jab at like songwriting. Yeah.
Is that what made you continue songwriting, or was there anything else that kind of inspired you to keep writing songs?
Yeah, I think like life experiences inspired me. Like, I was such a fucking dramatic child. Like, I would like being bullied, and then also I was boy crazy. So like that was my outlet, was songwriting about like, oh my god, this person doesn't like me. I love him. I want him to be my future husband. I'm 12 years old. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So yeah, I think that was like just life experiences and having an outlet to like create with it was what inspired me to just keep doing it.
That's dope. Okay. So would you say like, I mean, because it's too early since you haven't dropped all this new music, but a lot of the songs that are going to be coming out later this year, are they written off real life experiences or?
Yeah, definitely. All of them. All of them are actually real life experiences.
That's dope. Because a lot of artists write about making money when they don't make it and stuff like that. Like, what's your perspective on that?
I mean, yeah.
Or is it a lie when artists kind of sing about it? Like, you know, about not having certain things? Or
is it more like a business move?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's a good question. I mean, okay, actually one song I am flexing. Like, I don't got an AP, but I'm flexing one of the songs. But I would say it really depends. So from a influential perspective, like, it can be dangerous to some of the younger generation, like influencing them about like guns and jewelry and focusing on all these other things. But at the same time, it's a form of manifestation. Like, yeah, I am that bitch. I'm winning Grammys. I have all these I have Cuban links and all that shit. Right. So I think for the artist, it's just a way of expressing themselves and expressing who they see themselves being.
Right.
So I don't think it's cap. Like, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing yourself because at the end of the day, the artist's job is just to be the artist.
Yeah.
It's not their job to influence and inspire other people. That's kind of what comes with it. But I don't see anything wrong with it.
You know what? That answer is actually, it kind of it's inspiring because I never thought about it that way. I never thought about when artists rap about making money, like it's what they're manifesting. So the way you put it is actually inspiring because that's what you're dreaming about.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way. I always, you know,
not only what they're dreaming about, like how she was saying, like that's what they're living. That's where they're at the moment. And the reason why they became the artists who they've become is like talking about real life experience. So once they blow up, that's what they're talking about.
I'm here already. Yeah, exactly. You know?
But and then there are those artists that just talk about things they do have, what they don't.
Right.
So I mean, there's that.
Of course.
Yeah. I think it's also like it's just a release. Like it's some people have really shitty life experiences. Like I'm from the hood, but I'm fortunate enough to not have been involved in all of the shit that was going on around my hood. But for a lot of people, like writing can be a form of like getting yourself out of whatever area you're in. So I think we need to stop making artists responsible for, you know, the influence. It really depends. There's a fine line, but like the influence that they have on other people in terms of their lyrics, and just seeing them for the artists that they are.
I definitely have more of a respect of that answer. Like I said, just because I never thought about it that way. It's like when I hear rappers talking about, you know, about hoes, money, and all this shit, it's like, okay, do you actually have this? Or is it like you just doing this, you know, for the song? Like, it's like, what is it? But I get what you're saying about like manifesting, and it's like you're speaking about a goal that, because, you know, Artistry Drop, that's what we're about. We're about inspiring other people to accomplish their goals, the next generation of artists and stuff like that. So that's why I really respect that answer, because that's something I never thought about.
Yeah, if you could change my Lolo's thought process, his mindset, you a different breed for sure.
That's the first. Honestly, that was the first time I've ever heard that kind of answer.
Really?
So okay. now you're making me think in a different way.
Love it.
So I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I have some kind of laryngitis or something, so my throat is kind of cracky.
You've been doing too much.
No. So I noticed, going through your YouTube channel and Instagram, you don't have as many like music videos for your music. Mm-hmm. What is the reason for that? Is it just because you are still currently in the process of, working on new music?
Yeah.
Or, like going back to some of the 3 songs, you didn't produce anything?
That was a really good question, actually. Mm-hmm. I think, to be very transparent, those songs I wasn't too proud of. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't really I would literally make the songs, release it, and I would not listen to it. Mm-hmm. And that was a combination of things. I was in a interesting label deal. I wasn't in a good headspace at that time. So it was, for me, it was kind of okay, the songs are out. I did what I needed to do and what was required of me. Yeah. And that's that. Yeah. So for me, I was just I don't feel that these songs are worth me putting out music videos too. But now I'm okay, let's get it.
Yeah, no, I get that. And we talked to another artist about that too. It's should you wait till you have songs that are worth making a music video for, or should you just keep going and maybe not get views for them? So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Just know we are here for you.
Yes, sir.
We will shoot your music videos if you need it. So on the podcast, everybody hears that. We'll talk about that soon. So kind of going back to Philippine Independence Day Festival. Mm-hmm. I noticed from your IG, you're big on the Filipino culture, of course. Yeah. How important is the culture to you, and why?
It's really difficult making it in the U.S. if you are not racially ambiguous. Mm-hmm. Specifically for Asian Americans. Mm-hmm. So I think for me, I'm 100% Filipino to my knowledge. Mm-hmm. I don't know my dad, but it's I am Filipino. Mm-hmm. I embody that. I speak Tagalog. Mm-hmm. Literally, I enjoy. Everything about me is Filipino, and I don't think that's something that we should stray away from or hide. And I think that's something we should represent, especially now that I guess people are more receptive to that. Yeah. Back then, people were just okay, you either have to be this specific type of person in order to be successful in this industry. Yeah. So now I feel there's been a ton of OGs, Filipino OGs, who have paved the way in order for us to be able to have this platform and really speak out and be listen, I am 100% Asian. Mm-hmm. AAPI, if you want to be specific. Yeah. So, it's extremely important. It is who I am, and I'm not going to diminish or whitewash who I am in order to be successipal.
Love that. And like I said, for me, I'm half only, but I 100% always support the Filipino community, and he knows this. I'm way more Filipino than I am white. And
even though you don't look like it,
people say I look Hispanic, and I understand that.
I can see it.
Yeah, I understand that, but no, that's why I love bringing Filipino creators, musicians, all them to here, because I support the community. So talking about that, do you think it's important for Filipino and creators in general to come together and support each other?
Yeah, I think Issa Rae said it best. You have to network horizontally. Mm-hmm. You can't network vertically and just try to, otherwise you'll fail. Yeah. If you're shooting too high, you're going to fail. But I think the more that we support each other and the more that we get our name out there, the more visibility we get. Her has been repping being Pinay. Sweetie has been repping it, and they're obviously half, which is fine. Yeah. But I think the more that we kind of just get our name out there and support each other financially, on social media, through projects or in production, like the more that we'll really have more of a market share.
Facts.
Yeah,
and I believe
for
that.
sure. Yeah, like in Seattle, like we have a lot of Filipinos up there. So like I grew up with Filipino families and Filipino girlfriends.
You are
and
Filipino.
Stuff like, yeah, basically.
That's what we're pretty much saying.
I look Filipino.
You do.
I'll be walking down and people are already talking to me in Tagalog.
Right.
So
I
actually know more than my own language, which is Laos. But
You're lucky though, because people just speak Spanish to me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like nobody even knows I'm like half Filipino. So it's like I don't hear that at all.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so back like in New York, was there like a lot of Filipinos over there? Or?
Yeah, there were actually a lot of more first generation Filipinos.
Oh, okay.
I think in Cali, because we've been here for so fucking long,
right.
it's like fourth, fifth generation Pinoys and Pinays who don't necessarily speak Tagalog, which is not bad. But out there, like it's definitely more immigrants who have like either just moved there or they're fresh off the boat.
Right.
So it was definitely a culture shock moving out here. But there are a lot of I think a decent amount of Filipinos on the East Coast who are very warm to each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
We interrupt this episode with a word from our sponsor. Are you looking for a way to energize for the day? We got a product that will do just that.
Introducing Gamer Subs. Gamer Subs is a keto-friendly, zero-calorie, zero-sugar-based energy drink that introduces nootropics to sharpen focus and increase reaction time.
Gamer Subs is also organic caffeine-based that will maximize energy and endurance. To make it easier, each scoop used is 100 milligrams so you don't go over your daily limit.
Each tub of Gamer Subs contains 100 servings. Gamer Subs also provides caffeine-free tubs for those that just want their daily vitamin dose without the need for caffeine.
Not only do they have energy drinks, they also have dope merch, such as these waifu cups, t-shirts, and hoodies, and much more.
Are you ready to energize with Gamer Subs?
Use our code Artistry Drop on their website and receive a 10% off discount.
Hey, now back to the show.
Why?
So did you feel like accepted, like being Filipino over there, since there was like first generation, or
beyond?
Yeah.
Beyond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's definitely like the love I felt like being in Seattle and being surrounded by them. You know, they accepted me, and I'm like, I'm not even Filipino, but
I felt accepted, but at the same time, I also felt like there was it was like, why is this girl doing like R&B and hip hop, and like why is she singing like not original Filipino music, or OPM is what they call it. So yes, and then at the same time I felt like a weird like a weirdo.
Yeah.
But not in a bad way. It was just like, okay, I'm different. Yeah, and that's cool.
Because that's the music industry in general, because Asians in general wasn't really like looked up upon, you know. Then now I feel like we talked about this in many podcasts before, is like this is a big generation for the Asian community. We got BTS breaking charts, you know. That's gonna pave the way for so many other Asian cultures in the way. So like
I definitely feel like Bruno Mars is doing it for us Filipinos as well. You know, like, I mean, he was born in Hawaii, I believe, but he's still Filipino. And, you know, so it's dope seeing, you know, where he's coming from, and, you know, definitely supporting, you know, the Filipino Hawaiian culture and, you know, stuff like
and
that.
And he's Puerto Rican too, I think.
Half, he's definitely half, So it's still dope. And then we got Joe Coy, you know, doing it big for Filipinos as a comedian. He's also from Seattle too, which is...
What?
Yeah, that's really dope. So, you know, that's why also I think for me as well, being from Seattle and, you know, having a big, you know, Filipino, you know, celebrity there, it's really dope. It's because we don't have a lot of Filipino celebrities here that are famous in the States. In the Philippines, of course.
All of them,
Yeah, all of them. But here, it's like, we just don't have any.
Yeah.
So it's like, whoever you see in the States blow up that is Filipino and is a celebrity, it's like, you got to just support it.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always been.
And they have a big fan base. Like the Filipino culture, they support hard.
Super.
Always.
Yeah, super hard.
Even if you're like 10% Filipino.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it is. And once, like, I feel like once somebody finds out you're Filipino in the Philippines,
it's over.
It's over. You're like famous already. You know, you know, and that's what a lot, you know, a lot of my family has said. You go to the Philippines, you're going to be famous. I don't know if I want to go there. You know, like I've never been there yet. I do want to go, of course. I do want to go. I need to go there to see the motherland. It's just, I would never go there to try to get famous. You know, like what a lot of family, you know, like titas and titos, like what they say, you'll be famous back there.
I know.
No,
all
I'm
of
good.
them.
Yeah.
It also doesn't translate like to the US.
Exactly. It doesn't.
It doesn't. But also, I don't know. Like the bread looked real nice.
No, you know what? Seeing how celebrities live over there, it's crazy because I see their houses and stuff like that. It's just, I can't see myself living a country life. You know, you get what I mean? Like
it's different.
It's different. You know, I've never lived it. It's just
that's his white side coming out.
I guess
I can't live country.
No. Okay. You know what? Maybe you're right. You know, maybe you're right.
They're more developed now, actually.
Yeah. No, you know, like seeing like Manila and you know Cebu City and all those. You know, like the city looks awesome. It's just like I'm so used to being in American cities. It's like it's gonna be different, of course. You know. Fuck you. Fuck you. No, but you know, of course, I have to visit there no matter what, just to see what it is about. But in general, I just feel like if I was to go there, get famous for whatever reason, it's gonna be hard to get famous here.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll definitely get famous for those eyelashes, for sure.
Yeah, your eyelashes are popping.
You know what? My girlfriend says that all the time. She wants to curl
It's always
him.
the guys. It's always the guys. Man. God damn it.
You know, yeah, my girlfriend wants him. She told me I need to develop a line for him. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that, okay? Yeah, I don't know if you've heard her say that.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, she said, you should develop a line for your eyelashes.
Wow,
I'm like,
what?
nah, I'm not going to do
donate
that.
some of that length.
Yeah.
To the unfortunate.
No, you know what? No. You know, growing up, a lot of girls have been jealous of my eyelashes, which is crazy. Because
I can see that.
I don't like them.
What?
And, you know, the number one question I always get, can you see your eyelashes?
Yeah,
no,
can you?
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't see them. Like, I see perfectly fine. Because if it was blocking my vision, I would have cut them already. Yeah. No, I would have trimmed them already. And you know what? Somebody actually messaged me because I took a photo of myself, like a selfie, and said, I hate my fucking eyelashes. What? They're too long. And then somebody's like, no, they look good. But you know what? If you really want to, you can trim them and they won't grow back. Because from what I heard is if I was to trim them, they would grow back hella long.
Yeah. Why would it not grow back?
I don't know.
Yeah. You got some long lashes.
I do.
Have you tried curling them?
No, I'm never gonna do that.
You gotta ask sis.
No, she's been saying she wants to, and I'm like, nah.
They look like some Venus flytraps.
They do.
Yes, I've gotten that so many times, but no, I'm not gonna do that. So, no, fuck that. All right, so moving on. You know, I do follow the brand. You've been featured in quite a lot. Bago LA. Is that your brand or whose brand is that?
So that is my homie Brandon. Shout out Brandon. He actually, it's pretty much an off-white version.
Okay.
Well, not off-white version, but off-white inspired Filipino.
It's like a streetwear brand.
Luxury streetwear. Very selective about the type of textiles that they use, and actually all the Filipino textiles are made by weavers back in our motherland.
Oh wow,
that's fire.
So they're not only, you know, obviously supplying people here in the States, but they are employing people back at home.
That's
too.
dope. Yeah.
And they're very fucking awesome. Like I have yet to see any Filipino American owned brands that are doing it like them. So,
I'm gonna need to cop something there because like honestly, like I saw some of the, you know, the shirts and they look fire.
They do.
Yeah.
So
they're launching this month actually.
Yeah, I was wondering because, you know, I clicked on the website. Yeah. There's nothing there. So
yeah, they were still in production, but they're launching this month.
Nice. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm gonna. If
they're everything about sponsoring, you know,
Brandon,
we'll give him a little shout out
here. You know, like you got a Filipino right here too.
Yeah.
So. No, but honestly, like I'm gonna support the brand, and you know, I will definitely cop something because it looks dope.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, for sure. So I've actually never been on the East Coast. Like, what is your experience from being in the East Coast and coming to the West Coast? Like, how different is it?
Yeah, me too. I've never been on the East Coast either.
Yo.
Oh no, wait. Is Chicago considered East?
It's Midwest.
No, Midwest.
But Chicagoans, one of my girlfriends told me, she was like, oh, you guys, New Yorkers are like the meaner Chicago people. Or Chicago's like the nicer New Yorkers. But fucking RJ could tell you, right? Like, it was such a culture shock coming here.
Really?
I'm like, why are people walking so slow? And like, people are so nice. Like in New York, like, it's just, get out my way. Like, get out of my way. I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
But here everyone's like, yeah, mellow, like I'll get there when I get there. And like Just it was a major culture shock. Yeah. I was not used to it, but now I'm acclimated. For
sure.
You
know, like that's even like for us being in Seattle, it's a culture shock for me because I'm not gonna lie, people in Seattle they're nicer.
Really?
Yeah, to me they're nicer. Like people in LA, I've dealt with a lot of mean people and stuff like that. So that's why it's kind of funny you saying like people in New York are like way more meaner than people here in LA.
Yeah.
But for us, people in Seattle, I feel like they're a lot more nicer, and it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's a way different vibe.
Yeah. I would say like people in Seattle are definitely more passive.
Yeah,
like they're less direct, and you already probably think of LA like that.
Yeah, I'm like,
so
just
imagine that on a different level in Seattle, because Seattle, you have to keep in mind like Seattle, we have a lot of rain.
Yeah,
it's cold. People are bundled up. So people are like more into their fields, more introverted. So they're less outspoken.
Yeah,
exactly.
Rather than LA, we live in the sun.
Yeah.
We're out most of the time. Yep. We're doing things. So people are more outspoken. And then I know from people who lived in the East Coast and who I've met, they're more direct.
Yeah.
They're more in your face.
That is, though, because it's still cold out there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Sure. Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just... I have no idea.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think that's just the East, even when it comes to music. The East and the West Coast, it definitely reflects. Like, and going on to music, like, how do you think being in the music industry, how is that different? You spoke about people, but how is it different, like, in the music industry?
Like East Coast versus West Coast?
Yeah, East Coast versus West Coast.
I can't speak for other states, but I will say that for New York, New York don't be jacking you. Like they don't fuck with you unless you're already popping. Like Cardi B had to pop off in New Jersey first. A Boogie, I think he popped off in some other state before he got big. So it was a lot of dog eat dog mentality out there. It's like, okay, I see another R&B artist or I see another female artist and I'm going for that. I'm going for her. Versus out here, I would say it's more chess. Like people are very political about it, and you try not. If you're smart enough, you don't burn your bridges because you know that you're gonna bump into this person again. So I think out here, you have the ability to flourish more because people are not intentionally trying to bring you down.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Or if you're out here, people will rep you more back in your home state because you're like, oh my God, they made it in LA, or they're making it in LA. So I'm going to be a fan now.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So would you say it's easier to connect in LA than New York? Because of that reason?
Yeah, everybody's a creative here in LA. Versus in New York, it's like, there's Wall Street, there's a lot of business people, there's very small pockets of artists, and it's very underground. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, yes, of course, there's the major labels there. We have Rock Nation, we have Universal out there, or we have Alamo out there, but definitely smaller pockets of music artists versus out here.
Yeah. No, that's dope. You know what? It's cool because you had two perspectives from two places that are big, New York and LA. For us, we only have one. We're from Seattle. We don't have, like the New York, we don't have people where, music is big in Seattle or, filmmaking and arts is all that is big in Seattle. You have that in New York. You also, now that you live here, it's like you see the two different perspectives, right? Coming to LA, it was like we only had one perspective. So it was like, bro, we know how it might be in LA. We might deal with some plastic people. We might deal with people that are trying to use us or, whatever, like, or the party life, it's like we had to talk about it. And it's like, just don't let that kind of shit get to you.
Yeah.
So it's, like I said, for us, it's different because we only had that perspective, the one perspective. But for you, it's like you kind of see two. Yeah. So you kind of already had an idea of what it could be versus like us, where it was like we had an idea, but we don't fully know.
Well, the plastic shit did get to me. Like it's there's some some instances where you question, okay, is this person just trying to get something out of me when you're out here? But I've also learned it's like, okay, it's just a business. It's just a game. It's a nice dance. All right, I'll dance with you. Cool.
Yeah.
Versus in New York, it's like straight up, like I will say hi to you in person, but I may not like your Instagram posts, or I won't go to your show, or I will intentionally not give you positive energy when you're on stage.
Damn,
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's like a different type of plastic. That's a different type of fake. Because in LA, like they'll do all those things. Yeah. But they won't do it when you're not there. You know?
Ooh,
yeah.
Interesting.
But it sounds like, for at least for what you're explaining, like in New York, they will do it in front of you. So
they're straight up. They're like, if you're whack, you're fucking whack.
And for me, I feel like that's better.
I know, actually,
it is better, actually.
Yeah, that's better for me, because at least I could.
Right, I could work on my shit. All right, I guess I'm trash.
But then I know like where we stand in our relationship. When it comes to the West Coast, I don't know.
No, because
I'm guessing.
Never know.
Yeah, they sugarcoat it. I don't fucking know. Are you cool? Because you seem cool when you're near my face, but when we're not face to face, it doesn't seem cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do I go off of?
Yeah.
But I've just learned at this point, like, I'm popping. You know what I mean? Like, I must be doing something right. If somebody is giving me weird energy, I'm just going to continue doing my thing. And I think that's also the biggest thing being here has taught me is there's no better place to really just focus on yourself, because nobody's going to tell you. Like, unless you have some real ass people on your team, like nobody else will tell you if you're doing something right or wrong. So it's like, all right, I'm just going to do my own thing. Fuck it.
So, you know, like on the topic of, you know, you moving here, do you miss living in New York at all? Or do you like the vibes better here? Like, just from what you already told us.
I love LA. I absolutely love it. The only thing I miss about New York is like the pizza and the delis are like 24 hour. Everything closes early here. Like,
it does.
My God, I can't get my favorite foods past 9 p.m. Oh my God.
I know, that is true.
But I love it here. I absolutely, I would not rather be anywhere else. I love that anywhere I go, there's a creative. I'll walk 2 feet and it's like a fucking videographer. 2 feet more, it's a screenwriter or something like that. Like, in New York, you really have to search for creatives because it's more business and corporate. I love it here.
Yeah, I would say the Seattle's almost the same too.
Yeah. You
really got to search, you know, to connect with the right people. And, you know, you mentioned about going to your favorite food spots. That's definitely something. I mean, a lot of food spots in Seattle still close at like 9 or 10. You still close early, but we do miss like that, our go-to spots, you know,
of course,
when we're craving something. So of course over here we're still trying to figure it out.
And that's, you know, that's probably the one thing I would say I miss about home is like a lot of the food spots that we don't have here. It's like you do have to do a lot of digging, like trying to find someone that compares to what you had back home. But it's hard because you grew up with that kind of shit back home.
Yeah, it's like you just have to accept. You will not find it.
It's hard. And, you know, we've tried digging for places that we can, and there's a lot of good ass food out here. But it's just, it's like, it does not compare whatsoever to some places.
What food is like Seattle known for?
Seafood. A lot of seafood.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop.
We have really good at sushi for sure.
Sushi. Clam chowder. The clam chowder in Seattle, fire.
Ivers.
Yes, Ivers.
Yes.
Lobster?
So, okay. So before I used to say, have you tried boiling crab?
No.
Out here.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a place called Crab Pot in Seattle. And pretty much it's like, you know, down south, you know, shrimp and, you know, boiling, like...
like Creole, Cajun.
Cajun crab and all that. So, you know, back home we have this place called Crab Pot. And it's the same kind of, you know, down south, Cajun style and stuff. I was like, damn, this shit is fucking good. This is the best place I've ever been to, right? Well, after coming out here, trying out boiling crab, I had a different perspective. I was
good or bad?
Good.
Oh,
fire.
Okay. Boiling crab. I gotta go.
You have to try it.
I always pass by it.
Okay. Make sure you go to the one only in K-Town.
Okay.
Because I went to one in Burbank.
Yeah.
They don't do it the same.
Yeah. Fuck.
No.
I could see K-Town popping off.
Yeah,
No.
I think like, boiling crab is better. I think it's better for the seasoning. But I think it's more fresh, like in Seattle.
Of course,
I
agree.
Just closer to the sea.
Yeah, exactly.
Know? But their seasoning is not that great.
Yeah, it's not.
But in boiling crab, their seasoning is
okay. So I gotta get some seasoning packets at Boiling Crab and
it already comes in.
Yeah,
it comes in a bag with seasoning.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's fire.
Yeah, it's really good.
Trust me, once you try it, you're gonna be stuck on it. You're gonna be
excited.
like, I need boiling crab. No, like I said, you're gonna be stuck on it. It's so good.
It's good.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Me too.
I can crave for like boiling crab right now.
Yes,
I gotta go to Boiling Crab after.
You got it. It's so good.
That sounds wild.
Okay, so like of course we know you love being in LA now. Like, would you move back to New York at all, or would you just stay in LA forever?
I would love to be bi-coastal. All my family's there in New York, New Jersey. But yeah, I miss the pizza so much. That's the only thing. And like the fucking the delis. But I would love to be bi-coastal.
Yeah.
I think that's the next step is like, okay, a few months out of the year, maybe I'm in LA. Or when I need to come back to New York, I can go whenever the fuck I need to.
Okay, this might be a tough question because you are from the East Coast.
Okay.
West Coast or East Coast?
Oh my God. I'm not trying to start no beef.
Because you do say you love it here and you would not move back, but you're bi-coastal. So it's like you're both.
Yeah.
Which one do you enjoy most?
I haven't lived here long enough
Facts.
to get
I agree
a better to get a good enough.
But I also think you have like a different perspective when it comes to like living here and working here.
That's
because
true.
it sounds from what you explained, like you rather work here because of the connections you've made.
Yeah, I love working here. I haven't really lived here.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love to like experience living here. You know what I mean? There's so much culture in LA. The gang culture, it's so strange, but the gang culture out here fascinates me because that's another community.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that was the big thing for me out in New York is the community aspect that I grew up with. So I really I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it was just a question. Yeah, it was just a question.
I'm in the middle.
Like, no, of course it's like me. Like, of course we're both West Coast, but living in LA, I will never like really rep for LA. I love Seattle, and I will always rep for Seattle. So it's. Even though we live on the West Coast, of course, I'm always going to rep for West Coast. But just because I live in LA doesn't mean I rep for LA.
Right.
Yeah, because you're working here.
Yeah. It's good for work, but I love home. I love being in Seattle, and I will always rep for this city. Yeah. Because, of course, too, I want to make the city proud. Like, if we were to ever blow up or whatever, it's like people know we're from Seattle, and that's my hometown.
That's why we got the logo.
Yeah, we kept the Space Needle logo, in the Artistry Drop, and
zoom in on this somehow.
No, I mean, but I do understand, like you are here for work, but I also feel like your heart is also back home because that's where you grew up and all that.
There's so much like
and
memories and shit.
It's also
that
like irreplaceable. Like how do you replace something that's like something you grew up on and you had so many of your memories and your childhood on? Like,
right,
exactly.
You cannot.
You cannot. So
but I could also see like if I've lived here long enough, there's so much that will have changed back at home that I cannot relate to.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm always curious about how people like Jay-Z or 50 Cent. Well, I don't know if he lives in New York or Atlanta right now, but like the big people who have made it out of New York. Like, how are they? Do they still rep New York, or are they just like, I don't know? So
I want to know
curious
that.
To see.
I want to know that too.
Let's revisit this question in like 10 years.
Yes, let's do it.
When you finally make it big, we're like, so how do you feel about this?
Exactly.
Yes, let's do that.
So going into like your YouTube channel, I notice you're like deeply connected with tarot cards.
Yeah.
And so start from the beginning. Like, how did you get into it?
So I've been reading tarot for 6 going on 7 years now.
Wow. Oh, wow.
How did I get into it? Honestly, through YouTube.
Okay.
I was like deeply insecure very I was in a relationship at the time, and I was seeking for answers. Like I really just didn't know, and I stumbled upon some tarot card videos on YouTube, and then I was like, wait, this is fucking cool. Can I do this myself? And I bought a deck at Barnes and Noble, and I just learned myself. Did some internships here and there, and started reading for friends, and everyone was like, oh my God, like this is a talent of yours. So I think it was just like self-taught, and then also the ability to like learn from other people and people that I'm inspired by. So
that's dope.
Yeah, pretty cool.
At what point did you like thinking about like using the knowledge that you learned from tarot on your like YouTube channel rather than focusing on strictly just music?
That's a really good question, because I've actually been doing tarot on YouTube for a minute, or I was.
Yeah. We coming with the heat.
Yo, y'all did your fucking research.
That's how we do. It's
oh my Lanta. Okay. What was the question again?
Like at what point did you start like focusing on more of like incorporating tarot into your YouTube channel rather than just, because a lot of artists, you know, want to keep that separate.
Yeah.
You know, so what made you want to like implement both?
Honestly, I just thought it was fun.
Okay.
Like I just liked making the videos, and I found myself channeling better in front of a camera. So going back to like my tatay and his VHS, like I performed really well in front of the camera. So for me, it was like just release, like just like, okay, let me put my iPhone on, press play, and like just talk. So it was kind of like therapy for me. And I put it up and like was getting like 13,000 views on some videos and shit. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Why not?
Yeah, that is dope. Yeah. So, you know, talking about your channel, I noticed you started off with like a lot of song covers, and your last cover you uploaded was about 6 years ago. At that point, like, you know, since you cut off like doing song covers, was that to the point where you're like, I want to start doing my own music?
What cover was that 6 years ago?
It's a long time.
6 years ago.
I didn't get the exact title, but that was the last cover you had. Was 6 years ago.
We're going back.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it.
Yeah, we dive deep.
Okay, so you're saying, why did I stop doing covers?
Yeah, why did you stop? Was it to the point where you're like, I think I want to start my own music, so stop doing covers?
Oh my God, 6 years ago. Yeah, I that's when I started doing music professionally.
Nice. Okay.
So that's when I will still do covers. Like I've done gigs where I will do Britney Spears and shit like that. But I think I just wanted to put out more content that was like my own shit.
Original. No, that makes sense. Yeah. But your covers were good though.
Thank you.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and I would love to start doing it again.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your YouTube videos, and a lot of the older ones like were very natural and like not business oriented. But I noticed a lot of your more recent ones like have like a skit in the front of it, and it was very more like entertaining and very comedy like centered. Like what made you like throw that comedy skit like in the beginning? Like what was your thought process on that?
Wow.
Damn.
You guys are asking a really good question.
We got to.
Yeah.
Honestly, I cannot just take all the credit. RJ was helping me with it a lot.
Hey.
He's actually executive producing my project, but
Nice.
but he was like, yo, some of this shit is boring. Like, do something that's going to capture an audience. And so I think at that time I was researching like YouTube videos, and I noticed, okay, the first 2-3 minutes is a hook.
Right.
So how can I make the first 2 to 3 minutes entertaining?
Right.
And I think that's where I kind of like input the comedy aspect. It wasn't intended to be comedy, but it just ended up that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like I know that people start losing interest after 2-3 minutes. So I was like, okay, what can I do to like make them stay?
Yeah. That's a dope. That's a dope like business move too.
Yeah, it is.
But you also like have a really good like acting like presence. Have you acted before?
Yeah. No, I've
like
never.
In those skits, you're like all in it. You dress up differently, you know.
Just on stage, yeah. Okay. No.
Just being a part of like the performing arts.
I think it's just natural.
Yeah,
it's just natural for you.
Yeah. I can see
that.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
How, and going on a deeper tangent, like how has like tarot has really connected you as a person, like when it comes to music?
Wow. I think it's taught me that you can express yourself externally. Tarot is just like music in the sense that it is just a reflection of yourself. Like you can read tarot, you can read tarot. Do you know the Rorschach ink block cards?
No.
Like you ever see those movies?
We don't know anything about tarot. Besides your videos.
They're like, we did our research, but just on you.
Exactly.
Do you know in those movies where like the psychiatrist will like put up a card of like random ink shit and they're like, what do you see?
Okay.
So that's what tarot is. Like you put meaning behind it. So I think for me, like tarot and music is like, okay, I'm putting meaning behind these words. Like this random ass, maybe simple word may not mean anything to anybody, but when I go on Genius and write the meaning behind it, like it'll mean so much more. So I think that's kind of what it's taught me is that, okay, like it doesn't have to mean anything to anybody, but you create meaning behind it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people in the music industry, the way you just explained it, like, you know, when it comes to being a listener, like not all metaphors will hit the same person the same way. Sometimes it means like being something so simple and less charismatic that the words itself and the way they say it hits them differently. So I could definitely see how like different perspectives come into like that tarot card or that side of music that you're like, wow, it does hit different. So
and that's what I would hope is like people would be intrigued enough to be like, okay, let me look up what this means. Let me look it up on Genius. And all right, cool. Oh my God, I didn't realize that's but
I see that.
No, that's dope. So, you know, before we end the podcast, we do got to know what is next for you as an artist.
Okay. So very soon, within the next few months, I'll definitely be releasing a single. And then before the year ends, definitely a project.
We're excited. Yeah, we already know you got that heat. So we're excited to, you know, hear what you've been working on for like the past 3 years.
It's been cooking.
You know, so super excited. What advice would you give to, you know, the next generation trying to become an artist or singer?
Ooh. Advice to the next generation trying to become an artist or a singer. Don't be afraid to be different. I think too many times we try to repeat the same formula over and over again, and which it does work. Some things will work, but what makes you memorable is what makes you stand out also. So don't be afraid to be fucking weird. People are gonna pick on you and people are going to make fun of you for it, but trust is because they're hating on you and they want to be you. And be great. Believe in yourself, even if nobody else does.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go, Shaina. Are there any shout outs you want to give to our viewers?
OMG. Okay. Shout out to RJ, executive producing my project.
Let's
go.
Huge inspiration in a lot of my art. Brandon, Comer, and Arrington of Bago. Shout out Mikey, Tanduay. Jesus Christ, if I'm forgetting anybody. Shout out Lyle Del Mundo. You're fucking awesome. Thank you so much for being a huge, I guess, path creator for the Filipino American community. And shout out y'all.
Hey, that's good.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
where can people find you on social media?
I am at the Shaina Rae. That's right, because I'm the bitch. The Shaina Rae on everything.
And we will link you guys below anyways. So Shaina, again, appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you guys.
Super excited to learn more about, you know, your life and, you know, where you came from with your music.
And hopefully we could come around 10 years later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a deal.
Hey, let's go.
Let's get it.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're not following us on Instagram, it's the Artistry Drop. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, it's Artistry Drop. And we are streaming on all major platforms. If you guys want to listen to this podcast on your radio, headphones, whatever you guys want to do, it's there. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.